All right. Good morning, America. Good morning, diaspora. Salongo Chigondo again this morning. I hope you're having a great start for the week. Thank you all for joining the debate conversation last night and for following all the conversations that have been happening over here. This morning, I am happy to be hosting the one and only Patrick Ogwang, the CEO of Aspire to Be More, ATBM, right?
That's right.
Good morning, Patrick. Good to have you here.
It's a pleasure. It's a great morning, and I can't wait for our discussion this evening, this afternoon. I mean,
This afternoon your time already, because you're in a different time
oh,
zone.
yeah, Central Time Zone.
I
It's
am in
morning.
Central Time, so we're still in the morning.
Morning. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So tell me, as I try to get this link shared out so we can get, this is early morning conversation. People are going to work. We expect
Correct.
them to be coming back and reviewing this later, but let me try to share this link. But in the meantime, as I do that, let
Yes.
me not make the assumption that everybody knows who ATBM is, just like I do. Why don't you take us through that? Those who are seeing you for the first time are curious. Who
Yes.
is Patrick Ogwang?
All right. Patrick Ogwang, I am based out here in Dallas, Texas. Again, like you see, my name is Patrick Ogwang, and I have been a community leader in the Dallas community and in UNAA at large. I have a passion for community and for people and for serving our community. So that's who I am. I'm a father. I got little ones, and yeah, I'm grateful to be on the show and following Tichikube
Yes.
from day
Yes.
one.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah,
an
yeah.
advocate and a fan.
Thank you. I appreciate you for doing that. You when you see me doing it's some, the studio is always in the car. That's where the whole story began from. And I'm in the car and I'm talking about whatever the issue of the day is, and I see Patrick sharing. I was like,
Yes.
that's very good. And uh, recently, I was, I had a project, Buganda Women North American Convention,
Yes.
and you are one of among the many, but you specifically came out and supported my marketing efforts with a video. So I
Yes.
take this opportunity to thank you while I have you here. Thank you very much for always being supportive. I see you supporting my brother, Omukoza, mukoddomi wange mpitamuko kubanga, ffe tumuwa omukyala.
Yes.
Nshima. I always see you supporting what he's doing. So since you came to the scene in 2019, I think I've seen positive energy from you. That's what I witnessed.
Yes.
And I think that is to be noted and observed, at least by me here.
Yes.
Now, uh, the debate yesterday and the conversations that happened before, but the debate yesterday,
Yes.
the feedback is starting to come in. Everybody is positive. They're saying thank you guys for putting this together. But for me to begin with, I'd like to thank the leaders on the both teams. The independents had to make an independent decision, but the teams, the leaders, are for having decided and led the teams to say we're going to go out and engage in the conversations, right? Because they could have balked away and say, you know what, but to the extent that we had everybody that we extended our invitation to show up and participate, I can't say thank you to them enough. Okay, that is very important because our board of trustees in UNAA always does these debates on site. I think it's the board. Yeah, the board chair always conducts.
Yes. Yes.
They do these debates on site, and there's limited time, and they're struggling to get everybody into the room. When we get to the convention, we're always very distracted. So it is, they do what they do on site, but it's not as impactful as having a conversation outside or prior to the convention. So for us to having had these conversations, for all these contestants to have get out there and engage in conversations, I think it's very fruitful, because definitely there are issues that we have to address as a community, and these conversations are one way to get going, right?
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Yesterday was such an eventful day. It was a very powerful day, and I think a great day for UNAA in general, because of their activities and those debates coming live on our screens. With this time and day and era of technology, we're now able to hear what the candidates have to offer ahead of our conventions. It was phenomenal. And I think we'll look back and realize that we have grown as an organization. We are transitioning very well. And this kind of system is paramount to actually being able to choose good leaders in the future, that we're able to summon them, we're able to see what they bring to the table, and vote based on substance and who can offer the best for our organization.
Great. So now it's very easy to get into the scores and who did what, you know. Some people I could see quickly they started going into scores and I don't like that, because I don't find that very helpful. But I would like to get your objective take on this, you know, what transpired.
So I think number one thing with the electorate, what they're looking for is they want to find out if you're the right candidate. You know, are you the right candidate with a value-added mindset? And that's what I was looking for. In my opinion, I was looking for who is the right candidate, who is grounded on principle, what's the decision-making process of these candidates, and I was also looking at their emotional capability. You know, I was looking through all that, paying attention to the body language and paying attention to the details and how they answered questions. That was very important to me. And also, I wanted to make sure that they had the right audience. Did they, the right message? I mean, did they have the right message? Okay. Right? The message that speaks to the audience. We have real issues and problems that we need to solve. And I was looking for candidates that were able to answer those questions and more away from the team, more to the individuals on merit, on what it is they had to bring on the table. And also, were they able to speak to the audience? Because the audience is asking, what is in there for me? Right? What value do you bring for me? Why should I vote for you? So I was looking at some of those key areas.
Okay, right, great. Yeah, thank you very much. So, because obviously we do have great potential. Me and my co-host have been talking to several, you know, whoever we are able to get. For example, Agatha, who did a fantastic job moderating the debate.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and the way I found her was I just put a post in a youth group chat here in Chicago, and I say, you guys, I'm thinking about doing a debate. Do we have anybody, or do you guys know anybody who has a journalistic background?
Yes.
And one response said, yeah, we have several, but didn't give me a name. And then another response put up a name. They said, so and so. And indeed, she said, yeah, that I can help do. And we also what she did. She is, I would like to have her here now, talk to her.
Yes.
Yeah, so people get to know a little bit about who she is, but she did a fantastic job. And even the individuals that she interviewed, particularly the youth side, she did about 3 interviews for the youth. You could definitely see what we have there. The young people are yearning to do stuff with this organization, to get involved. They have complaints, you know, where things have not been happening. We don't know, lack of programming for the youth and stuff like that. So that is kind of has kept them away or forced them to disengage because they don't find any relevant content to them. So those are some of the challenges. But we obviously have great pool of young Ugandans who we definitely need to cultivate. I had the opportunity to talk to Paul Nteafa, the award, who
Colorado.
Colorado, who was awarded leadership award. I think he's doing great, and he's definitely deserved that award, and so much and so forth. So, where do you see the gap? What do you think else needs to be addressed besides the beginning of these conversations that we have? Where do you see some gaps as far as, particularly for the youth? I brought that up because I'm beginning to get very interested in that.
Yeah, I think what you did there, Robert, is classic, because when you form a platform like this one, Tichikube, it gives you the opportunity to source for human capital within our diaspora community, and which is one of the challenges we're facing as an organization, right? As UNAA, is that UNAA cannot do everything, right? So we need people like Robert on the side to, again, source this talent that is sitting sitting around in our communities that's not being tapped into. I thought Agatha did a phenomenal job. She was very professional, and she asked the right questions, which was amazing, because one of the questions she asked that I thought was very good was, she said, we don't hear about UNAA the whole year around. We only hear about UNAA during these elections. Can you each explain why that is? And I thought that was such a good question, because she was coming from a place of authenticity. She didn't know anything about UNAA.
That's exactly the point.
Until she was called in and she said, okay, what's this going on, right?
So yeah, that's it.
Shows that we have a gap. We have a gap that we need to fill, to your point. And we have the structure in place. We have the structure in place to actually fill those gaps. The question that UNAA is not being filled in the grassroots. And I think yesterday that was the big question that needed to be answered. And I saw she asked that question to the president, and the presidential debate, and the answers we got were not so, in my opinion, did not really address the issue and why we are where we are today, to be able to engage our communities. So I think we completely we are moving forward. There's no doubt about it, but we need a better strategic plan to bring in more youth into our organization.
Great. All right. Very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that take, because I was wondering, did we get real direct answers? And you just responded to that, because that was going to be my next question. Do you feel like it's, there is passion there and there are issues to be addressed, and each candidate uses every opportunity to say what they want to say, but one wonders, do we get actual answers to some questions? And the other feedback that I have got was that we always accord everybody who has arranged this kind of debate or conversations that the post of executive secretary is not given ample time. Or maybe it is a less known, yet it is a very critical one. But yes, I think we have been faulted. That's the feedback that I got. We did not give them enough time. All right. So that I just wanted to air that out. But getting away from UNAA, I know Patrick.
Yes.
Did not say, "Oh, I'm in Texas and I'm doing something." I have been following. I know you've been doing some stuff. While I have you here, let me hear. Makasi.
Yes.
Remind me of that story, because I was drinking this and it's good stuff. But remind me that story, where it began from. That's an entrepreneurship story. And that's one of those things that we need to be advocating for and pushing. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to know about the presence in Chicago here of a actual presenter.
Yes.
Somebody want to present in the business forum. Yeah. And they told me he's here, and I'm like, I need to talk to him. Nelson Tugume, sorry.
Yes.
When, I don't know if you've seen the interview, but you need to hear. Coffee story.
I did.
Africa social entrepreneurship story. He is great, and everybody should attend the upcoming UNAA Business Forum. I don't know if you are doing anything in the business forum, I hope, but tell me about Makasi. That is business, it's entrepreneurship, okay? I am still tired. Tell me about Makasi, please.
Well, let me highlight this, that everyone should attend the Trade and Investment Forum this year. It's going to be loaded. It's going to be packed. It's one of our great events at the UNAA convention. So be sure to attend it. It's fully loaded, led by Moses Wilson. He does a great job every year to put it together. I'll be helping him out as one of the moderators there on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Now, yes. Now to switch gears to Makasi. Makasi is a UNAA story, and for many people might not realize it, that in 2019, when I ran the campaign, I put out my manifesto out there, and one of the gentlemen that's the manufacturer identified the manifesto, and he liked what it is that I stood for. And I invited him to Chicago to do a presentation, but he never really did that presentation. But after our conversations, leveraging on my experience, having worked with Walmart for 10 years and my logistics experience, were able to come up with something. He switched his business model from a product-based business to a people-based business, and began manufacturing juice in Asia, and distributing it into Uganda, distributing to Kenya, Malawi, Congo, and I think Rwanda and Botswana, right? He began doing that. And just like we're having a conversation now, we always have conversations, it dawned on him, it dawned on us, and said, why don't we give Aspire to Be More to create this mastermind alliance? I think you've had me use that word quite a bit. The ability of two or more people working together in the spirit of harmony to attain a definite major objective. So we agreed for Aspire to Be More to be the exclusive distributor of the product in the US and the US of A. And what we did is we had the opportunity to do all the packaging and do all that, but we want to keep the Makasi brand going. But it is distributed and sold by Aspire to Be More. And one of the business models that we're using is a community-based approach. Again, listening to Mr. Tugume that you're talking about, we believe that this product can financially empower our communities all across the US. It's already doing it in places like Southern California, Northern California, where the leaders that subscribed to the vision back in 2019 and continued to run with the vision are now becoming entrepreneurs in their local communities and creating that possibility in Northern California, Southern California, Iowa, Dallas, Texas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we are growing. So we are looking to onboard. We have about 10 other partners, distributors who are expressed interest and ready to go in the different communities. The product is consumed by our communities, and the entrepreneurs are within the communities. So you basically don't have to go anywhere to look for clients or customers. They're already within the community. This is what we grew up drinking. It's 100% juice, no additives, no sugars added at all. It's authentic. And I think we can use this to propel and really grow our diaspora communities, financially empower our diaspora communities. That's the story in a nutshell, without going into the technical aspects of it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so, you'll be franchising out? How are the California people?
Correct.
Yeah.
So what I'm working on right now is a franchise into the franchise states and non-franchise states. We're breaking down the onboarding paperwork and running it with our lawyers, the legal team, to make sure that it's all legit, and we can and we can onboard people. We'll give them training on sales, training to help them set up their businesses in their communities, and how to run it. Again, leveraging on the experience that we've had doing this over several years, we're able to put together a package for any individual that looks to do this, to help them move a little bit further ahead in this diaspora.
Great. Thank you very much. Now, yesterday I launched tuchipbe.com, right? And that work is ongoing, and I'm hoping to partner with entrepreneurs in our communities to enable their ability to disseminate information, promotion campaigns, and that's
correct.
So that's what I'm cooking myself. It's working.
That's noted, and you've been at the forefront. We'll have to discuss.
Yes. All right. Very good. So thank you very much for stopping by real quick. It's Monday morning. Maybe we'll catch up. Are you fired up? You ready in Cincinnati? When do you get there?
Look, I am so fired up. Yesterday's debates were completely amazing, and I wish I could have drilled down a little bit more on the different categories, but I know you probably don't have a lot of time to do that. But I really wanted to go deep, a little bit deeper onto the different categories, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time. And I saw Madam President, who was following and watching.
Oh,
she made a comment. Yes, she said that we did not we did not get enough time there. We're not given enough ample time to exhaust. I feel that, but look at it was 2 hours. It was even with the little segments, the time frame that the hosts configured, it was still extended beyond the estimated time because we didn't want to keep this dragging on for hours. So maybe that's a lesson learned. Next time we do this, we'll try and figure out a better time and maybe start time and allow people more time to exhaust the topics that they wanted to. Now, let's leave the presidential slot alone. Go pick one that you wanted to drill in real quick before we close.
Leave the presidential slot alone. Why not?
Yes, I don't want, because Madam President was following. I did not want to say now we're going to start talking about her. Let's go. Let's talk to the executive secretary, because the other feedback that I got was that we really don't give them ample time or listen to their issues. Executive secretary, that's the feedback that I got. We happen to have had them at the end of the conversation, and looks like everybody was tired, people were starting to tune out, but that's a critical position. Now, what do you have to say? Anything about that?
Now, the executive position is always unfair. Why? Because the incumbent secretary is always at work. He has responsibility to deliver the convention. He doesn't have another time to really campaign, right? So he's really measured on how he delivers that convention in Cincinnati. And you could see that. So yesterday's debate, I thought, regardless to the little bit of glitches here and there, I thought you could see it in his face that he was working, and he just kind of came in there to give you a little bit of time. You could see that. I thought Maureen also came out strong, in her, in holding her position. Fair enough. And I thought Mulumba also did his part. He held his own from where it was. I just wish he had more lighting and take this more seriously and get out of the car and actually do it sitting down, because this organization needs that. We need to be focused in delivering. So that's the only part that I probably ding him on, is doing it out of the car as opposed to preparing for it and delivering it to the people. But I thought the secretary was back in. Again, it's very hard for anybody that is not in the system to out-argue the incumbent. He knows what he's doing. He knows his numbers, and he showed that yesterday. And Maureen, coming from the outside, is trying to buy people into voting for her. But again, she's coming from the outside. Lambert is inside. He's locked in. He's in the process. He's moving what he has to move. He came out pretty strong on it. And just like the same thing with the presidential debate. Same thing. You would see Madam President was very organized and came and delivered her points point for point. Lydia was a little bit convincing. She tried to be a little bit convincing, but I think Nairobi was more deliberate, more straightforward, more believable. That's just my opinion based on the debates. It's got nothing to do with what the outcome turns out tomorrow. People vote based on so many different things, and that cannot be conclusive. But as far as the debates yesterday on Tuchikube, I think we had a lot of back and forth, lies here, lies there, lies, we had that back and forth. But again, judging on emotional capability, judging on stability, I'm looking to see who's telling the truth. I'm looking to see who's safe, who's the organization safe in whose hands, right? So those are some of the key points that I was looking at, and I think it's just hard to beat an incumbent. It is.
Ahora tú quieres subco.
But I think your best debate was in the vice president category. I think that right there, because Agatha does a good job of posting that question, of putting it out there, and these candidates have to really make their case. And I think it was phenomenal on the debates, and it's something everybody got to go back and watch. I think if you really want to know who the right candidate for the position is, you have to watch that debate.
Thank you very much. And I have to say, Mr. Mulumba did actually call me and say he got caught up. He couldn't make it to where his destination. He was coming from work, and he just had to hop up. So that's why he was in the car. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for stopping by. Have a great day down in Texas. I'll see you in Cincinnati.
You be blessed.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Katukwanjulire Event Concepts. Obeera mu America, osula mu America, oli mu East Coast, West Coast oba Pacific. Event Concepts ye kampuni eyeewaayo okunyiriza omukolo gwo. Tuukiriza ebirooto by'omukolo gwo ng'otukozesa okugutimba, okukukolera cakes oba okupangisa eby'okutimbisa. Amakanda gaffe gali Chicago, naye nga buli w'oli otufuna. Oyina birthday, kwanjula, mbaga oba kasiki. Event Concepts weeri okukuyambako. Tulina obumanyirivu bwa myaka okukusa obuwoomi bwa keeki eri ey'e Uganda. Kale nno tutuukirire ku www.eventconcept.ua oba tukubire ku ssimu 224-41-12-56 oba 847-361-798 ngambye 224-441-1256 oba 847-361-7198. Yifeba Event Concept banno ddala mu mikolo.